Hi. Um, right now I am happy. I am sitting on my bed and I'm not in pain. I haven't been able to just sit on my bed like this without moving my legs around and needing to just change my position. I've just been in constant pain from my last video that was on Thursday. It got just so excruciating. Last night, for example, I was in bed by 8 last night and I was on multiple pain meds and it got to be 1 in the morning and I had to go over to one of my friend's houses and go in her bathtub, jetted bathtub, and I finally was able to relax enough to fall asleep. I don't know. It was just unreal. So I was really excited to talk to my oncologist today who did my surgery for putting in the port. And I let him know what was happening with me. And he set up a new pain med plan on top of radiation. So I'm hoping that I won't have to be like that again. And that was just something I don't want to go through again. So, I also spent the weekend with quite a bit of my friends, and it was really nice to be able to hang out with them and just spend some quality time with, the people that I love. And I also want to bring up the fact that Ellie, she started a GoFundMe, which I put in the description of my last video. And I'm super, super thankful that everyone that has donated, because really it's about my son and him being able to have those memories with him. And the fact that you guys want to help give that to him, it just makes me so happy. So, thank you so much. I literally can't say thank you enough for that. Because he's gonna remember that forever. And, that's the most important thing. So, thank you. But I also want to show you guys kind of what happened today. I know I posted it already on my social media. It's starting to bruise a little bit. I don't know if you can really see, but yeah, the incision before for my first surgery that I had, it was a lot smaller cut, and it's a lot bigger this time around. So that's the only thing really different with this time. And I really honestly thought, I was scared for today because I'm just oh no, I'm already in pain and then I'm gonna have more pain from this and I'm just gonna be freaking miserable. And I'm actually super content and happy, and I was able to eat a meal tonight and just felt good, and that was really, really awesome. And it's I don't know, we take things for granted when everything's great and feels good. And then when we don't feel like that anymore, it's wow, I wish I could live in that moment again, But anyways, so that's kind of what's been going on. I went to Target yesterday and I got a whole bunch of comfy clothes because I'm going to live in sweatpants, t-shirts, and sweatshirts and slippers probably until who knows when. So yeah, that was exciting. I like comfy clothes, and I'm gonna get rid of all my jeans because who needs to wear those anymore. But yeah, so things are going really good so far. I am looking forward to my appointment tomorrow, as well as Thursday to meet with the surgeon. And I'll let you guys know what how that goes for tomorrow with the radiation, and then also for my appointment with the surgeon. This surgeon was referred by my oncologist, who is the best around. And that I also had a conversation with a nurse at the pre-op, and she was letting me know, like, oh, do you live in Vancouver? And I told her yes. And she said, oh, because there's a lot of people that have my doctor and move here to be able to receive care from him. And I know that I previously tried, I didn't really try, but I was looking into Legacy Oncology, and I was telling them who I had, and they said, oh, well, if you have him, just continue seeing him. So he really is the best, and he really cares, and I'm really confident in his care that he's providing to me. So just my thoughts that I wanted to share with you, and I hope everyone had a good weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Lower. This week has been crazy. I want to take a video, but I gotta wait till after this doctor's appointment because I'll be like in the middle of a thought and then she'll show up. So, but anyways, this is the progress on this. I was at the hospital last night and they used my port for the first time and it worked pretty good, so that's good. Do you have anything else to say, Kat? Look, isn't she so pretty? I love her. Okay, so today is Friday. It's 10:30 at night. I'm gonna go rewind to the beginning of the week and just do like a full update. So on Monday I had my port surgery and it went really well. I was joking with the nurse and telling her that I was probably gonna wake up like Satan because last time I had anesthesia, I was very aggressive with the nurses afterwards and just telling them how much in pain I was and hurry up and give me a pain med. And this time it was a whole different experience. I was just bawling, like crying, and I didn't expect that. So I think that was really interesting that occurred. I don't necessarily know why that happened, but yeah, that's what happened. And then after that, I had a really good evening, and Tuesday, I thought I was going to start radiation, but I actually had my fitting done. So they mold my legs so that I'm in the same position every time I have radiation. So that was what that appointment was. And so I went to that appointment, and then what happened after that on Tuesday?
After her appointment, we had all the kids. I took her. So while she was doing that, I was just driving around Portland. A few of the kids fell asleep, so I initially wanted to take them to the park, but I couldn't do that. So
we did end up going to the park.
We did go to the park, but it was later. I couldn't do it like while she was in there.
Yeah.
But after I picked her up, we went just like around Portland trying to find somewhere to eat, and we went to our friend Lauren's vegan food cart that she works at, and it was really good.
The Mockingbird.
Yeah, it's in downtown Portland. After that, we met
Super good food.
Yeah, it was really good. Like I don't know. We'll put their like Instagram
we got like
handle.
multiple.
Yeah, multiple things.
Because we just couldn't decide on one.
Yeah,
and it was so good.
Yeah. After that, we met up with our friend Stephanie, who has a daughter who is 3, and we went to the park and let the kids run around for as long as we could. I mean, everyone was exhausted, and Lisa's in constant pain. Like, even when she's on her medication, she's still in pain, so she can only handle so much of like one thing before we have to like get her out of there.
I know, and I felt bad because all the kids were having such a good time with everyone, and like especially during like the pandemic, like we aren't able to like hang out like that either. And so they finally were able to like go out and like be with other kids, and I just like couldn't handle it anymore, and I was just like, Kat, we have to leave. But I mean, it is what it is. So.
And her husband helped Elisa in getting some
like cannabis.
Like cannabis stuff to help with her pain, which is totally fine. Like, we run all of that by her doctors, and they like almost recommend it.
Yeah,
so
they were happy that I was able to find something else other than medications. Yeah.
So that was nice, and then I took her home. So it was just a long day. I think I got home at like 6, almost 7. So that day was pretty good.
I can't remember the night. I think
it
went okay because I don't know. Then the next morning,
was that the night that you were in a lot of pain and Spencer was trying to get you to Elizabeth's house?
No, that was Sunday night.
Okay, well, disregard
I think Tuesday night was an okay night. I was just keeping up on like my medications because I started doing alarm clocks for it so that I wouldn't miss a dose. And so but anyways, then Wednesday, I went over to Kat's house, and we were planning, because I didn't have any appointments or anything, we were planning on just having a chill day.
Her brother came over, and we were just gonna, like, watch movies and just chill out.
Yeah, we watched That's My Boy and The King of Staten Island. And
yeah.
We
watched it. She slept the whole time, which is totally, like, better, almost. Sorry if I keep sniffling, like, my allergies
She's
are really
allergic
bad.
to cancer. But I kept like falling asleep. I was asleep basically the whole entire day, and I remember like portions of the movie. I think both of the movies were really great. Like, I'd probably like rewatch them.
The parts that she caught were like the funnier parts of the movie.
Yeah.
But So she slept all day, and me and her brother didn't think anything of it. We were like, great, she's sleeping. We were setting alarms to make sure she was taking her medicine every 3 hours. And she even tried to up her medicine that day because they said that she could do that because she's been in so much pain. We're like, good, she's sleeping. And then she wakes up, and she's...
It was like near the end of the day.
Yeah, it was like 4 o'clock. She wakes up and she's like, I'm in so much pain. So I take her to my room and I put her in my bed and I try to get her as comfortable as possible, which usually involves like 6 pillows and a heating pad and like anything. And nothing was helping, and I could tell that something was wrong.
And like I do
just
this
in the
thing
way
where,
that she
like,
was responding.
my legs are moving around like crazy. Like I'm trying to like
she's restless and she's in so much pain. So she was just rolling around my bed, just groaning. She could not talk to me. She could not answer questions. She could not do anything. She couldn't even she couldn't do anything. She had no control over her body at all. And my brother shows up and I look at Lisa. I'm like, okay, at what point do we take you to the ER?
and I was just like, no.
Lisa, every time she ends up in the ER, she ends up finding some sort of bad news. So it's just the whole situation is pretty traumatic for her. So she was like, no. And I was like, well, let me call.
Well, I started coughing too.
Yeah, she was coughing too, which was like kind of worried me because she just got the port put in and she has already had an infection with it before. And I know that that's a risk. And so anything like coughing or it was just a red flag to me.
At all, really.
Yeah, anything that she wasn't doing before. She wasn't coughing all day. It it started happening, and I was like, why are you coughing? And she's like, I don't know. So at that point I called the oncologist place she goes to, and I called the nurse that works with her, and they didn't answer. And I was like... It was
like a phone tag for a little bit, but...
Yeah. I left her a message, and I explained what was happening, and I was like, I really don't know what to do. I feel like something bad's happening. So we had to wait, and she's just, like, she's out of it, and she's in so much pain.
I remember, like, crying and just, like, wanting to, like, it to end, and, like... I couldn't even, like, express myself at all. And, like, they were just, like, rubbing my back and, like, just trying to make me, like, feel better anyway.
When she's in pain, she, like, wants me to hold her. So she kept, like, rolling in my lap, and, like, I kept joking. I'm like, she's trying to crawl in my skin, find some comfort. But that's how she is. Like, she is in so much pain, and she just wants someone to hold her and give her that comfort. So they finally got back to me, and she was like, you need to take her to the ER right now. And so I told Lisa, and she starts just bawling. And at that time, my husband got home, so he was like, I'll watch all the kids, you take her and do what you need to do. So we take her to the ER, and I'm explaining all this because I was the one that was actually there. And, like, everything, I try to make sure that I'm very present, and I'm listening to all the details. That way I know what's going on, and anything that needs to be corrected or relayed to her if she's, like, not mentally there.
Because I'm, like, experiencing all this, and I'm not the one seeing it, so it's hard for me to, like, relay what is happening because I'm just, like,
processing
doing
it. And you're in it, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and my brother called the ER ahead of time, and they were like, we'll have a room ready for her when we get there, so that was good.
Yeah.
We got there, they got us back there immediately. They took her temperature, and it was 99.9, which isn't, super alarming, but still she shouldn't have just been running a fever. And prior to all this, she had a COVID test, and it came back negative, so we knew it wasn't COVID. So she had a fever. Her, what was it?
O2?
Her O2 was pretty low, like alarmingly low.
Yeah, so my O2 kept dropping down. It would get as low as 82. And so they had to put
And her
me...
blood pressure was like...
Yeah, and my
really
pulse
high.
was really high. Like, I was just all over the place. And so they had to put me on oxygen. And they gave me 2 different types of pain relief.
Well, so we were there for 8 hours. So this wasn't just like, you know, when you go to the ER, like urgent care, it sometimes takes a really long time. And
but like that full 8 hours was them taking care of me. Like none of that was waiting period of getting help.
It was just like just a lot of stuff happened. She got 2 CT scans, and the first one was to check on the tumor and her pelvic area to see what was going on.
And the results of that was that it's bigger now.
But it's not that, that's not great news in itself, but it was better than the alternative, which was that her tumor was eroding, because her tumor is eroding her colon, and it's just going to keep eroding the surrounding areas, and that can... So, her tumor is eroding her colon, and it'll keep eroding the surrounding areas. So the alternative would have been that it was creating a hole around the tumor, which would allow for poop to go into her body, like, and that would kill her. And from talking to doctors, they've said that that's one of the, like, most excruciating ways to die. And I've had a family member die of something like that, so I'm somewhat aware of what it is, and I just
don't want that to happen.
Yeah. So they gave her Dilaudid to help with the pain, which was really good. Like, it worked. Initially, it gave her, it kind of, like, scared her. She got kind of scared once it hit her. They used, they put it through her port. So they used her port for the first time, and that went great, which is good.
And all the nurses were so nice and so wonderful, and I don't know, it was...
And they, like, adapted to her type of sense of humor. Like, she is constantly joking about having cancer and dying, so they were like, oh, we're joking about this now. Okay, let's joke. And, so yeah, they gave her the Dilaudid, and then, the doctor that was on call, they recommended her taking an oral morphine, which, I mean, you can explain that because you know about that, why it, like, scared you.
Yeah. Well, I have been in the healthcare field for, over 6 years, and the only time I've ever known morphine is when you're giving it to hospice patients. And so in my eyes, I'm like, I don't want to take that. Like, I don't want it to, like, let me go, basically. And so I just had a bad, like, I don't know, bad thoughts about it. And my doctor was telling me that, there's people that aren't on hospice that use this. And
yeah, she said she gives it to people, not all the time, but, like, she gives it to people, and that doesn't mean that she's on hospice or this is the end or anything like that. And anytime they had an idea or they wanted to do something, they always gave us the time
to, like, think about
to, like, talk about it with each other, to make sure we were making the right decision.
And I just felt like I will try it out and see, like, what it does for me. Because, yeah, I am quite desperate because I shouldn't be in the hospital from being in that much pain. Like,
the pain never goes away. It's just
there, just...
but it lessens a little bit so she can tolerate it more enough to function.
Yeah.
But anyways, so they did the morphine, they gave her oxygen, and her oxygen became concerning because it wasn't staying up on her own. Like it wouldn't stay above 90, which isn't even great without
using their oxygen.
Yeah.
So then she decided to do another CT to kind of see like if I have a blood clot or like what's going on in that area. So I did another CT scan, and she said that my lymph nodes are just
they're swollen, they're inflamed, which wasn't surprising because when she got her PET scan, her lymph nodes lit up with cancer cells. So from my understanding is just that it's progressing, like it's affecting her lymph nodes. So another not so great thing to hear, but also better than the alternative. The doctor had recommended that she be admitted and stay overnight, but that would mean that she would miss her radiation, which is really important.
Yeah, they said they could possibly have me do radiation there,
but that wasn't a for sure.
But it was like I already did the appointment on Tuesday, and like I already had enough going on that I'm just like, I want to be able to like figure out everything on my own at home. Like I will keep my windows open to get some fresh air. I have basically a hospital bed at home. I will keep my head up. Like I will do everything I can to like try and keep my O2 up, you know? And so they tested out my O2. They had me walk around the hospital and tested my O2 the whole time, and it was able to stay at 93, so they allowed me to go home.
Well, I mean, ultimately it was her decision, but
we
like wanted
to make sure it was still okay.
So you know, the hospital stay involved all of that, and just the unknown, because we didn't really know what was going on exactly until the very end. That involved her throwing up a couple of times, which wasn't great, and we stopped at the store on the way home, and I got her one of those like oxygen finger things. I don't know what they're called.
Pulse reader.
Yeah. And her brother, so he's been staying the night here to make sure that she's okay during the night. We got
sleeping in my bed even, which is like super nice because I need someone that is, you know, that close to me, really monitoring me.
So yeah, we got her home, got her cleaned up, got her in bed. She actually like passed out and was irritated anytime we tried to get her to take her medicine or like eat or drink anything. You're rolling your eyes now.
I still remember thinking back at it.
Yeah.
Trying to get me to eat so that I could take medication.
Yeah. So I got home at like 4:30 in the morning. And then I got up at 8:30, got ready, and drove over here so that I could take her to radiation. And your first appointment went really well. The only thing is like after everything that had happened and being so exhausted and being on all this different medication. I was literally
like a robot. Like
not even like a dead robot. Like we were like the entire day.
It was so terrible, and like everyone was like saying to me in there, they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm just like,
no. Like she barely could respond to us all day. We took her to her radiation, and then shortly after that she had an appointment. We had to pick up prescriptions. Like every day this week has been just a full day of doing things, which it's just been really exhausting. I feel like this is like the first time all week that we've been able to catch our breath, and still we're like
it's exhausting talking about it.
Yeah. And then
I was even having, like, terrible thoughts that morning, too. Like, I was just like, if this is how, like, this is gonna be the rest of the time, like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like,
and she didn't, like, say anything about it until before I went home, so I had no idea that this was even crossing her mind.
Yeah, and I was just, like, thinking, like, why am I being, like, tortured on top of everything else? Like, I just having to go through, like, this every day, just, why would I want to do that to myself, you know? And, like, then my next thought was, like, I can't do that. Like, you know, like, I have to
go
just,
there.
I have to, like, get through this, and, like, it's gonna get better, and, you know, and so, but yeah, I felt pretty fucking low. Like, I don't know, like, what else to say about that, but that kind of, like, caught me off guard, because I don't really, like, think like that, really. Like, I'm really, like,
normally.
happy-go-lucky, and, like, I do everything to keep myself from, you know, feeling that type of way. So, but then we went to the consult for the surgery
on her colon.
And everyone was super nice at that appointment too. And it was so funny. The lady who made the appointment,
that she said that her cancer was in her ass, not in her tits.
Yeah. She was like, "Are you Lisa?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, "I wanted to meet you."
Yeah, they were like, "You're famous here."
It was so funny. And anyways, then we met the surgeon, and she was so sweet too. And she was telling me that my oncologist, you know, usually if they refer someone, they just send like an email or like a phone call and like just like, by the way, can you do this type of thing? Where she let me know that my oncologist actually like sat down with her and like told her my whole entire story of what is happening. And so like these doctors that are helping me are invested in me and
they really care. They're not just
like full throttle, like wanting to kick ass with me, you know? And so, you know, she started even getting emotional towards me and like asking me like how my support is and things like that. And so, I don't know, it makes me like excited to like get help, because they're just really wanting to be there for me. So
so basically she gave us the rundown of the surgery. Lisa's gonna have to get a ostomy bag or colonoscopy. I can't even say it. But basically,
I don't know.
Colostomy bag.
I think that's what it is. My mouth is so dry right now. It's not even funny.
So they're going to go in on the top portion of her colon, and that's where they're gonna put the ostomy bag. I forgot what it's
called, like a
it's something diverted. So
we're doing a great job.
Yeah. It's just a lot of information, but basically that's where all of her waste is going to go. That way it doesn't have to try to bypass a tumor, which can cause more problems in the long run. She was saying that it's very important that stays like a no-no zone. Like there's no real operating down there. There's no nothing.
Yeah, they're not even going to try looking over there.
Yeah. So they're going to leave that alone. And she just kind of gave us the information that we needed, kind of what the hospital stay is going to be like when she's there. Because she could be there for upwards a week, depending on how everything goes, because she's going to need to be closely monitored after.
And making sure that it works, too.
Yeah. So, that appointment just went really great. That the surgeon is incredible, and I just personally, like, I feel really comfortable about it, even though it's not happening to me. I just feel like she's in good hands in that, just in everything, really.
I'm really nervous about the colostomy bag, just because, like, you know, that's not something that I expected to have. So I have to kind of just deal with those emotions. But when I think about it, it's gonna do more good than harm for it. And another thing, it's gonna be a little bit higher than usual colostomy bags, so it isn't gonna be like bothered with like my pants and things like that. And so
also, like, if they did it at the bottom of her colon, that would mean it would still have to travel down there. And they just want to eliminate any possibility of anything traveling down there. So that, honestly, like, it's not ideal, but it's better than, again, the alternative.
Yeah. And it's just safe in general for me to have that and just leave the demon alone. You know what I mean? So if that's what I need to do, then that's what I need to do, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just a new way that I'm going to have to live, and that's just
we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna, you know,
the nurses are gonna you know, teach me while I'm in the hospital that week on how to change it and deal with it myself, and like all that great stuff. And so it'll be fine.
That was yesterday. The night ended well. She got to talk to her therapist, which is always great. And she kept
asking me, like, how do you feel about everything? Like, how do you feel about that? Like, how do you feel about this? And it's like, honestly,
I don't feel.
I feel, what I do feel is I can't feel. Like, I feel like I'm just living every day and just doing what I need to do. And
I feel like that's
it's hard for me to put emotions to things right now.
Yeah. And it's all of this is happening so fast. Like, this week kind of just feels like a nightmare that's just not ending, even though
you just like can't wake up from it.
Yeah. And it's just been a lot. None of us have really been sleeping well, and we've all just been giving so much energy to this. And
and Kat, like, she is a mom of 3 and has a husband, like, has a whole ass life, and like she has invested her whole entire life like into helping me, and like I can't be like any more thankful, because I don't know honestly what I would do without her, because I just can't, like, I don't want to imagine me doing this like without her, because it's just too much.
I'm like shaking my head like, yes. And it's because so many people are just dropping like flies through this, which we're also trying to be understanding of, because everyone processes this very traumatic thing differently. Like, people grieve differently. So, but as far as right now, like, I'm doing okay. I feel like I'm able to separate parts of myself to where I do have my own personal time to be upset, and I don't have to bring that to her, because I don't feel like that's helpful, especially with the type of person she is, because she always worries about everyone else's feelings before her own. And I can, say that in front of her, and she knows, but
yeah,
I think it's important, because she's just going to be feeling so many different things, the next months, years, whatever
Dude, just
ends
these
up
next
happening.
2 weeks, like,
Yeah, with
there's
her
so
surgery.
much happening. Like,
Mhm.
we haven't even, like, touched what's going on with me yet. Like,
Yeah.
and I just feel like so much is happening. Like, I have my surgery now. It's scheduled on the 12th. And so that pushes my chemo to the 20th. And I'm kind of upset about it because I feel like chemo is going to be the thing to really help me. And so it kind of frustrates me that I have
falling
to
asleep. I'm sorry.
I know, so is my arm. So I just like feel kind of like frustrated that I have to wait even longer for that. So today was my second radiation treatment. So everything is going well with that. And then I also had my pain management appointment today, and he went into great depth of what I need to do for my pain and other options, and just really trying to help me navigate to problem solve what's happening. So there's quite a few different things that I'm going to be trying out. And also he said that I need to just de-stress from everybody and anybody that is just causing me stress. So I'm trying to do that as well. And I don't know. So we'll see what happens. I have my appointment next Friday with him.
And she has radiation Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We're going to try to see if she can get it the entire week, considering her surgery was pushed back a week.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll give us the okay for that, because the radiation ultimately will shrink the tumor as much as it can, and she'll be in less pain.
Yeah, exactly. And then I wanted to do something, like, I don't know, like, happy and, like, fun for myself. So I decided to dye my hair teal. And it was non-toxic, good
I used
dye.
Good Dye Young. That's Haley Williams from Paramore. Her hair dye line. Her hair dye line. Why do I keep saying land?
And so I was really excited to do that for myself. Teal is the cervical cancer ribbon color. And so that's kind of what I'm going for. I have my appointment next Sunday to take all my hair off. And so I wanted to be able to do something like a little bit fun, like while I still have it. So, but yeah, so I'm going to go to bed. I'm so freaking tired. Kat needs to go home. Yeah, and we're going to take a break this weekend. We have no plans this weekend except just take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And so I hope you guys do too. And I will see you next week. I know these videos are getting so long. Every time I'm like, okay, it's going to be smaller. Like, we're not going to talk as much. But I think it's important that I talk about every single detail. So,
and every week there's just so much information. So,
yeah.
And it's just a lot to go through, especially since we're doing weekly videos, so it's like a week's worth of information.
And literally every day something happens.
Every day we see some sort of doctor, we see...
And honestly, I wish we could say it was good news every time, but literally every time it's something worse. And it's just, it's really hard, but we're just sticking through it, and we're going to get through it, and there's going to hopefully be a light at the end of the tunnel, so... But anyways, that's all we have for you, and I can't wait to go to bed. Okay, bye.
Bye.
This is Joe Schmo. I'm super tired, so I look like a wreck. He looks like a cutie patootie, though, like always. Is there anything that you want to talk about?
No.
Not really. No. You're just saying how this was a pretty big cut. Huh?
Yeah.
Bigger than last time. And today's a really nice day.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can go, like, to the park or something fun,
We're going to, like, my friend's house and on her friend's house.
Go to one of your friend's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go to Kat's and you can see your friends there.
Actually, no, I need to tell you guys. So there's a little friend that I made with my other friend, because she got 2 brothers.
Kat has two younger children.
Yeah. And one of them, named Sully, he's fine, you know.
Yeah. Do you know how old he is?
Yeah, I think he's like 2. I don't even know.
What about the other one?
I think he was like 3. Okay.
And what's his name?
Theodore. That.
You have fun with them?
Yeah, but Theodore is kind of annoying. It's like, guys, can you do this for me? Or like something like that. Something like annoying.
Well, you were probably like that when you were 3 too, right?
I guess so, yeah. He's probably more annoying than me. Probably.
Probably
And,
Anything else?
Yeah, and there's my brother that's named Jacob, and he's 10. And by the way, I'm 6, so I'm like 5 years younger. 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
And so I was like 5 years when I was like 5, and
It'd be 5 years if you were 5, yeah. So what'd you do this week?
with my dad.
Yeah, you saw your dad.
Oh yeah, we barely just didn't do really anything like you do. We usually do like play Minecraft all the time, but when my brother's here. So I was in like the back room where his PlayStation has. Oh, can you turn it to the PlayStation? Our PlayStation.
No, not right now. And then what else did you do this week?
And a day that Daddy picked me up, we usually just play board game. That's
fun.
Yeah.
And then we were hanging out with friends, and they were taking Mommy to her doctor's appointments, right?
Yeah. But there was this one day that I had a sleepover with one of my friends.
And why did you have a sleepover?
Because my mom went to cancer and...
Went to the hospital.
Yeah. Did you like sleep somewhere?
I was in the hospital until like 1 a.m. And then I came home.
Actually, when I had a sleepover, I woke up because I heard like footsteps. Guess what? It was Theodore. I'm like, hey bud, what are you doing? And last night I was like playing a whole bunch of games on the phone.
Yeah.
For like, I think for an hour, and then I fell asleep.
How do you feel about Mom having cancer?
I feel bad for you.
You feel bad for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll get through it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We just gotta be strong.
Yep.
And take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to look at the camera anymore?
What's Nita saying?
Okay, what's up?
If the corona was here, not here, I mean, you probably shouldn't have cancer.
Yeah. I don't think that's how that works, but
I mean, you might. I don't know.
I know it was weird how Corona came, and then right when that happened, Mommy found out she had cancer, huh? Yeah. It's weird how things work out like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hopefully, Mommy goes to the doctors
Yeah.
and gets better, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's being such a good little boy and helping out and cleaning your room. So, is there anything else you want to say, baby?
No, you can talk right away.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to tell everyone to have a good day?
Have a good day.
See ya.
Bye.
Do you want to do the stop button?